What's up, everybody? So in this video I'm going to show you how to replace a 3/4 inch pressure reducing valve. The purpose of a pressure reducing valve is to keep all the appliances and fixtures in your home at what us plumbers like to call the safe zone. So anything under the 80-pound mark, preferably 75-ish. If anything is above that, it can actually cause your water heater, your faucets to drip, different things like that. So the customer called us a couple days ago and said they noticed the gasket inside the pressure reducing valve had gone bad. As you can see here, it's dripping. So what we're going to do, we're going to come in. Obviously, first step is to cut the water off. As you can see here, let me go ahead and thankfully they have a very nice ball valve instead of the old school gate valve, and it works really good. There's a couple of ways we can go about this, and I'll tell you how I'm going to go about it. So one way, as you can see here, there's a copper male adapter, so we can either remove that union and unscrew the entire valve and then screw the new one on, and then use a ProPress by PEX adapter on the copper over here. Or we can actually, there's actually enough room to put a ProPress by PEX adapter there and here, and just, you know, put PEX in the middle right here. So that's what we've got going on at the moment. Ball valve is off. We'll drain the system down. You can open a hose bib spigot to get the pressure off of the house. As you can see here, there's a spigot right on the other side of this wall. So today I'll be using the Milwaukee ProPress, as you can see here. Some adapters, some PEX, general copper wheel cutters. And then, as you can see, we'll be installing the ZURN Pressure Reducing Valve. So what we'll do is, these are close cutters, close wheel cutters. Same thing over here. You see a nice smooth cut. Then what we'll do is take these PEX by copper adapters. Make sure there's no sharp edges. Put that one there. Slide this one here. Actually, what I'm going to do, since this gas main is really close to this, I'm actually going to remove just a little bit more right in here, so I'll have enough room for my tools to get between this gas line and the actual PEX fitting. Zoned into exactly what you see. You think ahead a little bit, and that's a perfect example, because if I was rushing and just didn't think about that, I would have messed myself up, and I would have wasted a ProPress fitting. You wasted money, wasted time. I would have had to cut it out and all this other stuff. And there's some instances where you don't have enough room no room for error. So what these do, they open up. They've got an O-ring inside of the fitting. You hold that down, and you'll hear it click. Do the same thing over here. And you know you have a very, very nice, secure seal. Now you can get these in PEX form. You can get them in all kind of forms. Solder, if you wanted to solder it. PEX, if you want to use PEX. They also, the majority of these pressure reducing valves, they come threaded and unions of some sort. So you can do either one. Like I said, you can thread that on that other male adapter that I removed. Remove this. Very important to use your gaskets. Make sure your gaskets are properly in place. You can see here. As you can tell, inside of the pressure reducing valve, there's 3/4 male threads. There's also an arrow to look at to make sure it's going with the flow. So obviously ours is this way. So theirs was upside down. We have plenty of room between these rafters, or these joists, floor joists. We're gonna put ours, we're gonna stand it up. We got plenty of room to adjust it if we needed to. So you wanna make sure nothing is cross-threaded, so just kind of take your time. Make sure that goes on there. Kind of hand tight at first. And of course you can tighten with a pair of channel locks. Need to. Okay, got arrow pointing in the right direction here. So what we'll do, we'll get our first measurement from here. Okay, so get our pick. Obviously, you can use an actual tape measure, something this minor, this close. I'm just going to eyeball it, because the first one doesn't want to matter that much as long as I know I've got plenty of room to make that attachment. I like using these ratchet cutters. Of course, the tape measure and using a marker to mark, that is nothing wrong with that at all, to ensure, you know, really good accuracy. I'm going to use these crimp rings. These are pinch or cinch rings. There's different versions that you can use. I like using these personally. It just happens to be the tool, the ratcheting tool that I use. That'll slide there. You want to make a nice flush connection. Make sure your ring is not exactly touching the fitting, but close enough where the barbs are connected. That way you know you've got plenty of room so it won't blow apart. These cinch rings, I have this tool by Apollo, and it just keeps ratcheting. It actually has a blue light. Let's see if it'll show you right here. Once it gets to that spot, you see that blue LED light. It tells you when you got it crimped, and then that just releases it. Okay, and then make sure we got this good to go. Make sure we're not too close to that joist. Slide that in. So that's just about perfect. Okay. Perfect. All right. Get your ratchet. Make sure everything is nice and straight, nice and flush. Okay. So we're good here. Now, a cool thing about these PEX fittings, you can actually turn wherever you need them. So don't be afraid once you've got it secure. If it does move on you, that's actually perfectly okay. And actually, some places it helps you if you have to kind of move the fitting around. So then, get my measurement here, nice and flush, right there. Like I said, you can use a tape measure, a marker, nothing wrong with that. You want to slide the cinch rings or the pinch rings on, like so. Slide that out a little bit. Get that one on. And let's see, I may have to actually loosen this. That's the beauty of these unions also. We can do that right there. And you can go ahead and slide your PEX fitting in. The main thing is be careful not to pinch or to cut your gasket of the pressure reducing valve. And you slide that back on like so. There we go. Nice little snug fit. Get the rings, pinch rings on right where I want them. So there you go. You can cut it back on. Let it build pressure. Put this back on. And let's test it all out. Nice dry fitting there. Plenty of room to adjust. Got our main water valve back on. The arrows pointing in the right direction. So that's how you would install a pressure reducing valve using PEX and propress fittings on a copper line. So I use the Apollo ratchet crimps, the general post cutters, some generic ratcheting PVC, PEX, CPVC cutters, and the Milwaukee propress. If you enjoy videos like this, hit the thumbs up, share the video, leave a comment, let me know if you've ever done anything like this or ever installed a pressure reducing valve.